The worst debate in history, in recorded history, debate bad, not just in terms of the actual substance, what was learned, what was not learned, what was gleaned, what was ignored, but in the production value itself, of the debate. One of the worst. First, that disgusting Martha McCallum disaster. And now this. First, did anyone here see it? With all due respect, I'm glad you're here. But if you didn't see it, your opinion doesn't mean anything. I'm just saying, it doesn't mean anything. If you didn't see this, who saw this disaster? 2-hour debate, 1 hour on our local NBC affiliate Channel 4, and the second online. I mean, everybody had it. Laura Loomer had it. A lot of people had it. But a lot of the old these fossils have no idea. Missy Nicholson, Missy, what did you think? With all due respect, what do you think? Nothing that I say will make any sense to you if you didn't see it. If you didn't see the horror that was this debacle. Did you see this? If you didn't see it, again, with all due respect, you're just going to be, and that's okay, you can say whatever you want, which is fine, but you had to see how terrible it is. And I'm just curious. Andrew Cuomo has created 95% of all the problems. That's true. Did you see it? Missy says they wouldn't let Curtis answer. Absolutely. The moderators were horrible. Missy, absolutely. The fix was in. Not only was it thrown to Mom Danny, but they also don't even care about putting on a good product. They suck. NBC, Channel 4, children, fossils. No, I don't think they got a memo necessarily that said, throw it for Mom Danny. But I wouldn't be surprised because it looks exactly like that. It's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. Okay? Unbelievable. It was, first and foremost, the stupidest questions. Are you a Yankees fan? I mean, I lost it. Remember, the first hour was going to, the second hour, that was the good stuff. That was online. So a lot of people, they still don't know how to stream. So if you want to get to the 18 to 35 group, you went to the second part. You went to the second hour. That's what you went for. Do you see how this works? That's what you went for. That's what you wanted to see. What's the point of having 1 hour on this Channel 4 and then after that it was what? I haven't watched conventional TV in so long. I don't even know what I was watching. It was horrible. And they put Curtis, and when Curtis, he didn't have his beret on, and when he doesn't have his beret on, I don't even know who he is. I mean, Cuomo, to his credit, was less, I don't know what it is, less Salazzo-like, less ghoulish. And Ma'am Danny, absolutely phenomenal in terms of how smooth he is. Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that the reason why we're on tonight, I want to thank our sponsor for this, our good friends at mypillow.com. Have you celebrated Mike Lindell yet? Have you done it? Have you gone to Mike's site and our site? mypillow.com/Lionel. Have you done that yet? You got to do it. You got to make sure you do it. mypillow.com/Lionel. You get a free gift and you can save like you cannot believe to a man who has been, let's face it, shut up and shut down and closed off by this rabid, filthy, disgusting, horrible deep state shadow government. You know it's true. mypillow.com. Just go there, my friends, and thank Mike for allowing us to be here. He's our sponsor. He's good to us, and we're good to him. Now, a couple of things. Let me ask you people something, questions, and I know this may be difficult because a lot of people just want to, they just want to talk. What is the purpose of a debate? The floor is yours. What is the purpose of a debate? What do we have debates for? This is it. What do we have a debate for in terms of the duty that is owed to the electorate? What duty does the debate have or hold to trying to maintain some type of interest in the host network? What duty does it have? What is the duty of the moderator? What is the duty of the positioning? Why put Curtis? Why not put Curtis on the side and put, seriously, Ma'am Danny with Cuomo next to each other? Because they'll go after each other. Go after Tertius Gaudens, Tertius Gaudens. Learn the game theory when you have a group of three, how one backs off. This is what Great Britain did to us during World War II to get us into the war. Tertius Gaudens, Tertius Gaudens. What is the purpose of having the same stories rehashed? What was Curtis Lewa's goal tonight? What was his? Most people like Curtis. We like Curtis. You like Curtis. Curtis has been, it's kind of like the spoiler. People have asked Curtis repeatedly, Curtis, would you please just step down? Curtis, would you step down? And they said, no, because they've said mathematically he can't do it. Remember Curtis in the last election against Eric Adams, who was a bona fide imbecile, lost by 40 points. This is New York City. Republicans don't work here. Why have an hour on conventional cable antenna TV and the second half streaming? Did that do anything? They acted as though they take people who have it's a high school prom questions. It's like somebody says, get all these questions out. Whatever you do, get these questions out. I'm sorry, we have to move along. No, that's not the questions throw away. If there's something, your job is not to go through 1,000 questions. Where has the art? Where is the professional wrestling? Where is the excitement? Why is politics so boring? And after this Martha McCallum love fest the other day, which didn't even lay a hand on him, is the fix in? Are we so beyond the realm of corruption that we don't even know how to deal anymore with it? Are we just, seriously, is this something that is so bad, so awful, so terrible, that we just don't, let's see, do we not know what to do? I mean, I'm serious. I'm thinking to myself, I'm calling everybody I know and say, did you see that? Did you see that? This is the most incredible thing I have ever seen in my life. It is absolutely the most. I am so disgusted by politics. They should have gone through. I blame his handlers. I blame his handler. This is. I would have said, Curtis, if you do this, maybe somebody can give him a signal. I don't know how to say it any. I'm just so disgusted. I would say you do this, if you do this, if you do this, this is the most incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. This is the most. We must talk about what happened in New York City. And I know so many of you fine people think, well, if I'm not in New York City, what does this matter? No, it affects you too. It affects everybody. Don't you understand how this thing works? It affects everybody. This guy is going to come and he is a part of a movement which is so scary. And he's so good and so smooth. Oh my God, is he good? And they laugh at him. It's like, I don't care what you think. You know, sometimes you have to know how things work. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just have to know how things work. Somebody was saying the other day, why how do I say this? Why are so many people buying methylene blue? I don't want to keep, I'm so fascinated by this subject. Overnight, everybody's buying methylene blue. I don't know the first thing about it, but people are saying it's changed my life. It's like this Oaxaca, or I mean, what is this? What do you think this is? I mean, they're talking about it. They can't get it out. Everybody's talking about it. Overnight, where did this come from? I like trends. I've told you, I like the study of tattoos. Where did tattoos come from? But this, you missed, was the worst debate in history. It was the death of duty, the rise of political theater. And I want you to join me and listen, and please, I know what you're thinking. Because a lot of you are so tired of this. You're always being told this is the end of the world. This is the point. No, this is not the end of the world. But this is where we're going. You need to join me to talk about what happened. Because what they called this debate, whether you're a master debater or not, wasn't one. It was a broadcast disaster. A political insult, an ethical meltdown on live television. It was horrible. And it raises a question that we should all be asking. What is the duty of a debate? What is the purpose? What is the sacred obligation? Yes, sacred. Is there any reason for this? What is it that a debate owes to the people, to the electorate, to the idea of democracy? Anything? Is this just a TV show? Is just some pro forma thing? Because somewhere along the way, that duty got lost, replaced by ratings and vanity and backroom strategy. A debate, my friend, at its core is supposed to be a covenant and a promise between candidates and you, the public, not some stupid choreographed, milquetoast, watered down showcase of schlock designed by networks and consultants and political handlers to protect the anointed Zohran Ma'am Danny. You're owed the truth. You're owed confrontation to show the contrast, not something of production value and canned, I don't have applause, but canned schlock. Instead, what we got tonight was a farce, a stage-managed, stupid exercise in control. Now, let's start with this. Again, the basics of this is incredible. The duty owed to the people. When you hold a debate And you say, we're Channel 4. And they start off with these triumphant under the fanfare. It's like they make it like we're a part of the system. We're part of democracy. You're not putting on a talent show. You're a facilitating agency. And you're spreading informed consent, the foundation of democracy. The voter cannot give consent without information. And information doesn't flow when moderators act like bodyguards. These folks, I don't know where they got. I'm not going to go through this list. I don't know what. I think they filled a couple of DEI check boxes there. It's like, okay, these moderators, these self-appointed, what are they? What would you call them? What, referees of democracy, arbiters? They've forgotten that they're not the story. Their job is not to redirect or deflect or protect. Their job is to expose, to push, to test, to mix them up. You are a facilitator. Think of a cockfight where you bring the two roosters and you probably have never seen them before, and you put them in front of other people. Gene Crane says, I thought living in California was bad. 52% state taxes, and that does not include federal tax. If you make $1,000, your take home after all the deductions will be around $380. Gene, thank you for that horrible news, but that appointment with reality. But Gene, let me ask you, in this so-called debate, they play defense for who? Zohran, Z. Let's just call him Z or Z for Zed. Of course. They tossed him Nerf ball question. Remember Nerf balls? Anyone who dared challenge his sanctified talking points were cut off, redirected, or fact-checked, or whatever they did, clarified. All this is done in real time. They should just ban these things. And let's talk about the physical setup. That's right, the staging. It matters. In politics, optics are half the battle. You know this. I know this. Everybody knows this. Curtis Lewa. Let me just say something. Personally, he would be the best. I don't know any of these folks. I've met Cuomo a couple of times, but there's nothing. But Curtis I know very well. And I wish to God we lived in a place where he could win, because their numbers just aren't there. Not that he's not good, he's great, but the numbers. Curtis Lewa was positioned like an afterthought. Practically standing in the hallway, while Ma'am Danny and Cuomo got the center spotlight. They put Curtis kind of in the middle. It's weird. It's almost like the classic Tertius Gaudens, which is, like I said, Latin for the third who benefits. Here's the play. Here's how it works. You put two rivals close enough to clash, and you ignite conflict. And the third party, the establishment's chosen one, he emerges unscathed. He kind of sets back and lets them kind of go at it. See, that's not debate strategy. That's game theory. That's game theory. Straight out of Machiavelli meets Madison Avenue. And I still say the goal is not to attack Ma'am Danny. The goal is to put your ideas ahead of time. Your goal is to say, Curtis in particular, Curtis's role, Curtis's job wasn't to attack Ma'am Danny, because that doesn't do anything. The people who are going to vote for him are not going to listen to some Republican tell him that their guy's bad. And it's not to attack Cuomo, not to attack. You're trying to get somebody to vote for somebody. When you vote for someone you like, someone who has something to offer, somebody who has sesame, somebody who has a worldview, a vision. You voted for Donald Trump because of what Trump said. Not because of how he attacked people. I mean, that was funny, but that wasn't it. It was about him. It was about what he said. It was about his vision, how he made you feel great, how he made you feel strong. That's the way it is. That's the way. Curtis, and I wanted him to win, and I think he would be certainly the best. He's not going to win, though. Remember, the last time against Eric Adams, he lost by 40% to an imbecile. To an imbecile. He's mentally retarded. Eric Adams was, I still can't believe that this guy was even there. But that's kind of neither here nor there. What is important to note and what's critical to note is that this is about what do you do if this and that. That's the point. That's the point. Now, let's look at a couple of things here as well. This is also critical. I'm looking at my notes here. Curtis didn't score anything. Curtis's job tonight was to make somebody go after something. He should have brought up crime. Forget the questions. Screw the questions. Whatever the questions are, you say whatever you want. Curtis knows crime. That's what people think about. This is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Mamdani and Cuomo were placed kind of not side by side. It was with Curtis in the middle. Curtis should have been to the side. Curtis should have allowed them to get at it. Curtis should have been to the side. Curtis is the populist. He's the outsider. He's kind of an interesting. His story is interesting. He is interesting. He is the most important. That's his story. They call him colorful. Translation, we don't take you seriously. But Curtis Lewa was the only one on stage with a real pulse. He knows the city's underbelly because he's lived it. He wasn't reading some poll-tested script. He understands it. He was more for helping the street urchins, if you will, than anybody else. He was the only guy speaking like a human being. He knows this. And he also, by the way, he's even into animal protection. But in New York, that doesn't matter, does it? Because the city has become allergic to authenticity. We love bullshit. It's true. And what was the point of this whole event anyway? This is the bottom line. What was the point? To inform voters? Please. Half of it aired on conventional television for an hour, and the rest dumped on streaming. It's like a civic afterthought. I thought that was the best one. And who's making these decisions? And how many people didn't see this? Who exactly thought the way to reach working class voters, whoever thought, was to bury the second half of a mayoral debate, one of the most important, on a platform that not nobody watches, but that they don't watch? It's scary. Gene Crane says, what's going to happen to New York City when all the taxpayers leave? Don't forget to sub, share, and hit the like button. Thank you. Gene, thank you so much. Gene, they've been saying this about New York City forever. They've been saying they're all going to leave. They said this about during COVID and they came back. And they go someplace else and they come back. And they go someplace else and they come back. And they've said this when the Bronx was burning and during the Crown Heights. At the time of the, remember during the Central Park 5, when crime was so awful, when our own Donald Trump put that ad, that full page ad in 4 or 5 papers, spent like $89,000 in 1989. It was horrible. I mean, it was just, it's better now. At work. But people have been saying they're going to leave forever. There's something about this city that keeps people here. There's a dynamism. But instead, I blame the Republican Party, and I blame a lot of people, because they've never offered alternatives. They've never offered alternatives. This is the thing. Oh, by the way, what does everybody think about John Bolton? Oh, my God. John Bolton Did you see all the great clips they have of him saying, nobody's against the law? I mean, nobody's above the. Same thing with Tish James. Oh, they're going to break it off. I mean, this finally, at least there's something. And let me tell you something. I want you to listen very, very carefully to what our good friend, Curtis Lee was. Alex. Todd Blanche. This is a guy. We got to get rid of this guy. Ed Martin. Are you hearing what's going on? Are you following what's going on? Are you listening? That's a whole other story. I don't want to throw too much at you, son. I want this to be the debate. But there's a lot of good stuff that's going on. And why did Curtis hesitate when they asked him about who was the best president? It's Donald Trump. Now, I know Curtis doesn't like Donald Trump. I don't know. What are you doing? Would you forget this Ronald Reagan stuff? Would you stop this? And Mom Danny likes FDR. Stop it. FDR, by the way, this is the guy who was this is a guy who signed off on internment. Okay, this is the guy who sent back to St. Louis. This was no lovable guy here. This is a different story. So anyway, what I want you to say is I want you to think about this very carefully, my friend. This is not just about New York City. I also want to make sure that you go tonight. Don't forget, you can also get the app 77 WABC. I'm going to be on live from 1 to 5 because I'm a vampire. What a show we have. Oh my God, do we have the best coverage you can possibly imagine. And I also want to tell you something, which is one more thing. I'm only going to say this. If you have not at least gone to preparewithlionel.com to see about emergency food, there is no hope for you. Okay? There is no hope for you. You are beyond, you are living in la la land if you say, I don't need to do this. I'm not talking about some posh vitamin. I'm not talking about something that turns your tongue blue. Again, I'm just saying that because people just all of a sudden, I'm talking about your life. And if for some reason you can't get to stores for a week, these bastards are losing. And when you got a rat in a corner, they fight back. And you better be ready. Go to preparewithlionel.com. You understand that? You understand what I'm saying? Okay, dear friends. Did I tell you I love you? Did I tell you that I thank you? That you are the greatest people in the world? Johnny Mazza says, over 30 minutes talking about Israel, New York City, nothing. Over 30 minutes talking about Israel. Who are you talking about? Over 30 I don't know what that means, Johnny, but thank you, I guess. I don't know what that means. Over 30 minutes. Anyway, I don't know what that means, but thank you. There's nothing worse than wondering, what does this mean? Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't think so. Do you think I'm stupid? No. I'm anything but stupid, and you know it. You know it. I'm the best thing going for you. I'm the best thing around because you can't figure me out. You turn on all the other shows, and you know what you get? You get the same thing all the time. You know exactly what you're going to get. You don't know with me, do you? No, you don't. And that's always the way it's going to be. Because life is like that. I don't know. They keep throwing weird stuff at us. And we have to know how to pivot, how to change. You got what I'm saying? Good. All right, dear friends. Who loves you? I do. You need me. You love me. You love me. You know it. Oh, you pretend you don't, but I know you do. Because we've been together for a long time. And I give you what nobody else gives you. I treat you like an adult. And I don't sit there and I just pretend. I talk to you. I talk to you. Think about this. A lot of these people, they're always talking to a guest, which is fine. They don't want to talk to you. That's why Alex does it. You know who's terrific? Been great lately? You may think you may get her Israel position may screw you, but Laura Loomer is just, when she talks about Trump and MAGA, she's spot on. Nikki Fuentes, spot on in some respects, absolutely perfect. Okay, Benny Johnson, all of a sudden, he's even though he doesn't understand what a pederast is, but that's okay. He's coming around the mountain, and Alex is still. Hang on for Alex, and hang on too for Mike Lindell. Mike Lindell. Remember mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. And also check out Rudy Giuliani. Best mayor we've ever had, bar none. Hang on. There we go. That's not good. There we go. That's for Rudy. There we go. That's for you. That's for Freddie Haddad. That's for you, Fred. That's for you and Missy. There, it's got your name on it, honey. All right, my friends. Have a great and a glorious night. Be well. Remember, we're all in this together, brother, as the great Cam Fong as Chin Ho says. And until we meet again, remember these faithful words, my friend. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Dat.